Hello everyone and welcome to my new video. Over the last couple of years, a lot of new people have entered the Lego hobby. And of course, during the pandemic, a lot of people were at home looking for a way to entertain themselves, and that has boosted the popularity of Lego significantly. Now, at the exact same time, a lot of YouTubers were also making videos about Lego investing, and even traditional media spent a lot more attention to this form of alternative investment. Now, at the start of 2024, we are noticing a kind of a change in momentum. Lots of people that did invest in Lego sets over the last couple of years are not seeing the returns that they've expected, and more people start to doubt if investing in Lego sets is still worth it in 2024 or not. Now, that is a question that we are going to answer in today's video. When I did my research about this topic, of course, I also watched some videos from other YouTubers, and I checked some interesting conversations on several forums. Now, one of the things that surprisingly enough kept on coming back was that the Lego market hasn't really changed, and it is still the same as a couple of years ago. It's just the amount of interest that is a little bit less at this moment. In some way that's true, but not entirely. Now, at first it's important to know that basically every alternative collectible asset that is around for quite some time is down at this moment. We see it with whiskey, we see it with trading cards games as Pokemon, and we see it with Lego as well. Now, the most important reason for this is of course to be found in the economical circumstances that we are facing today. Everyone feels that everything is a lot more expensive than it has been a couple of years ago, and also the rise of AI is making a lot of people very nervous about the jobs that they have. More and more people tend to spend a lot less and save more because the at the very least uncertain economic situation that we are facing at this moment. Now, this is something that has a direct impact on not only the amount of sets Lego is selling themselves, but also the amount of interest and the willing to spend the premium on retired sets that are being offered on the market. But even besides this all, it's very important to realize that if you have entered the hobby at the end of 2019, somewhere in 2020, and even in 2021, the market did change. People are not as much at home anymore as they were during the COVID pandemic. They can go to festivals again in the summer, book a nice trip, they can go out to dinner or meet friends, and so on. The gigantic amount of interest that we saw during the COVID pandemic is gone, and if something, we can expect a lot of people exiting the hobby, probably especially this year in 2024. This simply because of the fact that they discovered Lego when they were stuck at home and had basically nothing else to do. Now, of course, this all sounds very negative. I will also be talking about a lot of positive points later in this video, but I feel like it's very important as a Lego investor to start realize that markets do change and that most of the time has a direct impact on not only the profits that you're able to make, but also how fast you are able to sell a certain Lego set. After this rather negative introduction, does this mean that Lego investing isn't really a thing anymore in 2024? Absolutely not. I am very convinced that every collectibles market has a cyclist, and every cyclist has its ups and downs. This having said, there are a couple of very important things that you should realize as a Lego investor. Now, the first thing is that the price where you buy something for is just as, if not even more important than the price that you are eventually selling it for. Buying a Lego set with a discount or together with an interesting gift with purchase is giving you a very important advantage that will contribute to your overall profits a lot. Do not underestimate this tip. Buying a Lego set at an as big as possible discount is always the number one thing that you have to look out for. Also, a very important tip is that as a European, Asian, African or Australian collector, you also have to keep in mind that the American market is by far the most interesting market for Lego investing and reselling. Not only you have a lot more Americans being interested in this hobby, I think it's also very safe to say that the biggest discounts and some extra gifts with purchases are exclusively available for the United States. This means that focusing too much on videos from American YouTubers, if you are based in Europe or another part of the world, could be giving you a wrong perspective of the market, which could turn out to be very disappointing. Also keep in mind that certain Lego teams are a lot better performing within a particular market, and chances are that the country that you are living in isn't really a part of that market. So what do you have to keep in mind when you want to invest in Lego in 2024? Well, I think there are 3 very important tips. And obviously the first one I've already mentioned, try to always buy sets at a discount. Check discounts in local and online shops, try to obtain lucrative gifts with purchases, and try to take advantage of cashbacks when you have the opportunity to do so. Doing this should reduce the risks that you are facing when investing in Lego sets already drastically, but there is more. Another very important tip is always do your own research. Of course, it can be nice to check out videos from YouTubers as myself. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But obviously, we are not financial advisors, so we are never giving out financial advice. Before investing your hard-earned money in Lego sets, it's absolutely necessary to do as much research as possible in order to find sets that have the most potential past retirement. Now, when doing your research, keep in mind things as the shelf life a set has, how big the audience is for that set, and if it's maybe also being released to celebrate a certain milestone. Those special sets tend to a lot of times perform very good on the market, for sure after a couple of years when the first available batches on the aftermarket dried up. Now, this brings me to the holding time that you have to keep in mind when investing in Lego sets in 2024. Now, on average, we saw in the past that the average holding time of a Lego set was laying somewhere between 1 and 2 years. It's important to not hold on too long to a certain set because, well, like that you have the risk that Lego is releasing a new version of it. But on the other hand, you also want to prevent yourself from selling too quickly because, well, if you do that, then you could miss out on a lot of the potential value a certain set can have in the future. Now, when we saw an average holding time of, let's say, 1 to 2 years in the past, I think it's very safe to say that this average holding time in 2024 and in the coming years will be a lot longer. I would not be surprised to see the holding time extend to somewhere between 1 and 3, maybe even 4 to maybe even 5 years for a couple of sets. Now, the shelf time a Lego set had and the amount of discounts it received will be the 2 most important leading factors concerning the holding time that you can expect. Anyway, my friends, always understand that investing is not the same as flipping. I hear a lot of people complain that certain very promising sets that retired at the end of 2023 still haven't really appreciated in value over the last couple of months. Now, however, a set can appreciate very quickly the moment it retires. Just take a look at the Birds of Paradise sets. On average, you should keep in mind that investing in Lego is not something that will give you an immediate return after only a couple of weeks or months. This for sure not, because also keep in mind that the amount of investors on the market today is a lot bigger than it has been in the past. As a collector and as an investor, I'm more convinced than ever that also setting the right goals is very important, for sure now in 2024. I have the feeling that way too much people are still entering not only the Lego but also the Pokemon and several other hobbies just because of the fact that they expect to quickly make a lot of money. If you are one of them, then I think you're already off to a completely wrong start. While there for sure were moments in the past when that was possible, the market has evolved so drastically and there are so many more investors today that it's very important to focus on the longer term. So do not, and I mean do not buy Lego sets if you want to make a quick buck, because in most cases you will be ending up being very disappointed. If you want to start a nice collection for yourself, you're willing to do a decent amount of research, and you don't mind holding on to qualitative sets for a longer amount of time, then I'm very convinced that you can still do more than fine. I know a lot of people that are following this exact strategy, making a decent amount of money from them Lego investing choices. Also, you can still definitely be one of them as long as you're setting the right goals and you are focusing on the longer term. Now, I want to end this video by saying that, however, collectibles as Lego sets can for sure be very lucrative and they can be a very nice and fun side hustle. It is for sure not something that will make you rich overnight. If something, I think Lego investing and reselling should be seen as a way to fund your own collection or portfolio. Besides that, the extra amount of money that you are making from this side hustle could also improve your way of living. Maybe you make a nice extra amount to be able to go on a holiday with your family, or maybe it can help you just live a more comfortable life. Also understand that every form of investing, for sure in high-risk assets as collectibles, always has risks involved. Some sets will underperform and some will only see a decent amount of uptick after a longer period of time. Because of that reason, always determine what you can invest in Lego sets, and do not, and I really mean do not do it with money that you cannot afford to lose. Of course, there is a lot more to be said about this topic, but I don't want to make this video too long. But because I have the feeling that a lot of people are struggling with the fact if they should continue or if they even should start with Lego investing in 2024, I am working on a separate video series in which I will go into more detail about all the things that you have to keep in mind when you want to start or when you want to continue your Lego investing journey now in 2024. So if you don't want to miss out on any of my new content, then be sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you like today's video, then also don't forget to leave a like. For now, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Bye bye.